So we want to go through readings. So let me refresh everybody's mind since some people came in late. This is how we're going to do it. Swati, Maria, and Shaun will be available for readings. Alan and I, it's going to be a little different. We are open to whoever is already kind of connecting with their loved one on the other side. They feel they've made good contact and they want to deepen that. They want to take that to another level. And we're going to work with those who are ready for that. And the reason he wants to do that is because we have been helping some people in some of our other Zoom events that we've done. And I've heard getting feedback from people who said, like, after we did work with them, that they had a deeper connection. Like some of them felt their loved one like hug them or something, or their loved one started to be able to be heard by their other family members, for example, things like that. So he says that's something that he and I can do, because what he does is he's working on the other side with the loved one on the other side to help them project and come through, and also teach them how to more come through clearly and easily to their loved one here. When he told me that he was going to be teaching that, he told me this when he first came back. Oh yeah, I'm going to be teaching souls in heaven how to communicate with people here. And I just laughed. I just said, oh yeah, right. That's great. You can't do that. What are you talking about? And he said, I am. That's what I'm going to do. And when he directed me to read a mediumship book by a medium, an author, and in it, I know why he wanted me to read it, because she said, yes, there's souls in heaven who teach souls there how to communicate with loved ones here in the body. And he jumped up and down and said, see, I told you, you didn't believe me. That's what I'm doing. So he works with them on the other side. I'm working here, grounding his energy here and working with the client, and we're helping the two to connect. Okay, so, and he will continue working with their loved one on the other side to anchor that. So if you want a reading with me and Ellen, just post in the chat for me. Okay, just put my name, or say, Pam, I'd like a reading. Pam, I'd like a reading, right? If you want a mediumship reading, an angel reading, just a general reading, you can raise your hand using the, when you click on reactions at the bottom, you can raise your hand and then we'll know that you want a reading. Now, the way it's going to work too, because let's say everybody raise your hand, right? We're not doing readings in order of who raised their hand first, because we want everybody have a chance at this. So whoever raises their hand, we're all going to take turns. I'm going to take turns looking at the chat, obviously, but Shaun, Maria, and Swati will look at whoever has raised their hand, and they'll feel drawn to somebody in particular. Alan's saying they're going to let their own higher self or their own guides, or maybe the loved one on the other side, to say, I'd like to read this person. So please, sorry, we can't read everyone, but if you're chosen, it's because they're being drawn to you. Okay. So if you want Ellen and I to work with you, just put my name, and everybody's putting their name. Okay, fine. And let me see here. I'm going to go to gallery view so I can see who we have here. So who are we? Okay, Alan's saying we're going to start, and then we're going to turn it over to Swati, Shaun, and Maria. So we're just looking at everybody. I want to just check with everybody. So be sure that if you put your name up for me, for us, that there's someone on the other side that you've already connected with, and you just want to take it further. Okay. Okay. I'm just checking with it. Are you? Okay, Alan's saying he would like to talk to Glenda. Okay, great. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. All right. So is there someone on the other side that you are already connected with? And if so, what is that you want to make stronger contact with?
I would, my oldest brother. I'd like to know how he's doing. I just haven't.
Do you already have a connection with him? Have you made contact with him?
No, I have not made contact with him. And I feel a lot of times I talk to him and show me a sign, you're with me. And
okay, well, let me see if we can do that, because we were preferring to, okay, Alan's saying he wants to work help with you, but we were trying to work with people who already made that contact. We take it deeper, but that's okay. We're going to work with you. So, because I'm not going to give you an evidential mediumship reading where I'm trying to prove to you, that he survived death. We're because we don't have time, so we're going right to cut to the chase. What was your brother's name?
John
What was his last name? Alan's last name.
Bates.
I'm sorry?
Bates, Bates.
Okay. Was he tall? I don't know why he's telling me this.
Yeah, he was the tallest one in the family. Yeah.
He's saying tall. He's just showing me tall. Okay. Let me just give so I can connect with him. And Brown says he's saying he's here. He's tall. He's watching over you. He does want to connect with you. That's why Alan picked up on him. Alan's saying your brother was kind of pounding on the door to come through. Like, well, I want to make connection with my sister, and he's really strong energy. So I don't think you're going to have a problem connecting with him. What Alan's saying, he recommends that you meditate and have like a picture of him. Now everybody else could try this too. Okay, we're not saying only Glenda, this is only for Glenda, because this could be true for everybody. But Alan's saying for you specifically and for your brother, that this is what would work. Okay, that you meditate he's showing me 10 to 15 minutes a day or whenever you can. Look at his photo, imagine his face in your mind's eye. He's saying for some reason that's important for you to really see his image in your mind's eye, and just don't have any agenda. Just be in that state for a while. Just be with him, kind of. Okay, don't try to make anything happen. Just be with him. Just feel him, because he's saying your brother has a strong ability to project his love and his emotion, and he wants to do that first, because he says, okay, he's showing me your heart needs to open more for him to come in. So he wants to do some of that work, because it's kind of shut down. You kind of needed to. It's not a bad thing. You needed to shut down. So he says, but that has to open if he's going to really come through and make contact. Because he says it's not just about making things happen in the house, like giving you signs, or he says he wants you to viscerally feel his presence, because that's going to help you heal yourself and your life. Okay, he says it's time for you to get out of he's doing the word doldrums. You got to get out of the doldrums and come alive, kind of like I was kind of dead. So it's time for you to come alive. He says it's enough already. So he wants you to do that. And again, anybody else can do this too, because probably everybody else needs a bit of this too. But he's really strong, so he's going to come through and just sit with that for a while. And one day you're going to have some experience, or maybe you're going to feel like, I want to ask him a question, or I want to have more of a dialogue. Just let it happen organically. Don't force it. Just let it happen in its own time. Don't say like, well, I have to do this. No, just make the priority to connect and just feel him and just trust that he's there. Okay. Because he is. And if there's things you want to say to him, say them. But don't be looking for phenomena just yet. There's things that he will start making happen. Alan says he's going to teach him. He's not telling me what he's going to teach him. He's just saying it's going to be a surprise. He's going to teach him ways for him to make that contact. But we don't want, he says, okay, Alan's saying we don't want to say what it is, because then you'll be looking for it. Yeah. Right? Looking for it and going, how come he didn't do that yet? Like, because he said he was going to do that, fill in the blank, but how come he hasn't done that yet? He wants to be open-ended. See, but he says, but know that when something he's saying weird happens, that's me. Okay, unexplainable. When unexplainable happens, he goes, that's me. So even if you have a little doubt, because you will, because he says you're very logically minded, you're just like that. He says, that's okay. Just say, I don't know about that. Just say, okay, I'm just going to believe that that's real for now, just because for sake of seeing what happens, right? Say, okay, that's real. I don't know if it is, but I believe that's real. Says then he can build on that. Then he's going to get stronger. So every time any remotely strange thing happens, say that must be him. And let it happen. Okay.
I can actually see that happening. Yes.
Yeah, he's gonna, because I think he's already made some little things happen around you, and you may not be really attributing that to him, or just thinking it's something coincidental. He goes, no, I've been doing that. I'm gonna keep, but I'm gonna do more. Yeah. Okay, so he doesn't want you to set a timeline on, doesn't want you to exactly figure out what that's going to be. Just let it be open-ended. But first he says, I have to heal her heart. because I see it and it's kind of, and I'm not want to make you feel bad because I so
That's
relate,
okay.
but your heart's kind of dark. It's kind of like
Yeah.
heavy, and like mine was, like many of us
Mhm.
are when we lose someone. And he says light has to come into there. You have to, for me to make the contact that I can make, that I'm capable
Okay.
of making. Because it's a
Well, thank
two-way
you.
experience. Connecting with them is two-way. It's not all like us trying to make something happen. It's not all them trying to make something happen. It's a two-way thing. Okay. But
Mhm.
there's a lot that they need to do on their side. It's not,
Yeah.
you can't make certain things happen that he can make. Your job is just to be open and believe and trust and be patient, because it
Okay.
doesn't happen overnight. But he's now Alan's saying to me, in about 3 weeks, though, he says something significant will probably happen.
Okay.
About 3 weeks. So are you
Well,
in our
thank
group?
you.
Are you in our Facebook group?
I am, and I
Okay.
just haven't had time. I just took a job, so
Okay.
I haven't had time to get
Oh,
into.
no problem. The only reason I asked is Alan's saying, if something happens, can you please let us know? Can you please post something in the group and say, oh, by the way,
Absolutely.
something happened.
Okay.
He says, don't lock us into that time frame, but he's saying that, let's just say that he's aiming to help your brother to make something happen in 3 weeks.
No
But they
problem.
can only try.
Yes, that's okay. I'm all there for it. I just needed to know that he's still with me, and
He's still with you.
Yeah.
He showed me, like, because he's tall. He's showing me like what, like watching over you, literally, like tall, like literally, like
Okay.
behind you, in his presence, really tall.
Well,
But
that's
thank
wonderful.
you. All right,
Thank you.
thanks so much. Thank you so much.
And I will be in touch with you. Thank you.
All right, love it. All right, thanks, Glenda.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you so much. So we're going to now, Ellen and I are going to back off here, and we're going to turn things over to whoever. I don't know who wants to go first. Swati, Maria, Shaun, who wants to go first? You don't all raise your hand, tell me at one time, but you can.
Karen.
Okay, Swati's going to work with Karen. What is your last name?
Karen Michelle.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Karen. So while I was reading your questions in the chat, I don't know if you said more, but I had read one while we were still talking about the spirits, and I felt the presence of your mom, especially. I don't know if it's really your mom or not, but I do. I mean, I have that. I don't know if it's real, but I see a woman who's I would say slender, very slender built. There's a slender built woman who's soft spoken, and she's on your right side behind you. So I don't know if that is your mom, but there is this lady who's sending you a lot of love. So if you have anything, is that sounding like her?
It sounds like both my mom and my grandmother.
And your grandmother. Okay. So we'll figure out who this one is, but there is someone, and I think this is your mom, because this is from I hear younger. So if it is younger, it has to be your mom. So she's here, and she's been like kind of raising her hand to talk to you for a while. And she says that you do feel her presence physically. You can feel her. She's there with you. She's on right behind you, actually, on your right side. They usually stand. I see them on the right or left. Like for Glenda, I could see her brother on her right side behind the shoulder, but you also on the right side behind. And now I'll ask her to, because she's so soft in so many ways, in her ways of her energy and her voice, that sometimes you might have a hard time hearing her because she's soft like that. But she often even holds your hand when you're playing the harp. She's showing me that she touches your hand when you're doing it. And right now I've asked her to put her hand on your right shoulder. So if you just close your eyes and calm down and feel, you'll feel something on your right shoulder, because there she is. There you go. Felt her. That's it. It's very easy to feel her, feel them there. And you feel the emotion too, right? You feel the emotion. I can feel it, and that's how I know it's real, because I can, when I feel the tears start to feel in my eyes, because of the love that she's sending you. She's there. She's there with you. She's just so sweet and soft. Oh my goodness. Yes. Holding your hand now. Yeah. So she wants you to again practice writing with her because she's so soft. Hearing her clairaudiently might take a little bit of practice, but when you start writing, have you done automatic writing before?
Not in a
You've
long
done.
time. I used to. I can
Just to do it again. Do it again with her, and she will come through powerfully. Just start writing. Just start writing something without stopping, giving your mind the time to think. So your mind, when it doesn't get the time to think, you will start writing really fast, and she will come through like that. She is always with you, and you know that. You can feel her presence. She's there with you. She's there with you, and she loves it when you play the harp. She just loves it. Do you have a question for her?
um I I'm I wanted to know, there's two questions if I can. I wanted to know, she was here, I was with her when she crossed over. But I wanted to know if she forgave me, if I did anything wrong. I didn't know.
She,
I wanted
you
her to
know,
stay.
has it been some time since she crossed over? Because it almost feels like it's
1 year.
been 1 year. Yeah, because she's not connecting from a very human level anymore with me. But
No.
then I tend to connect with their higher self, the angelic self, faster. So what she's saying is, she has that look on her face, and she's asking me, forgive what? It's like she's saying that all of this that goes on over here, we hold on to those things and think that we need to forgive somebody or they need to forgive us. But when they cross over, they see how this is all actually an illusion. It's just an acting, just a movie, just a play on a stage. So just like two actors, when they are in a movie and when even the villain goes and kills the hero or whatever, then they, after the director says cut, they go and they sit and eat, they drink coffee together anyway. So she's saying it's the same. There is nothing to forgive, she says. There's nothing to forgive. And she loves you so much. It's like amazing.
We were
I know.
so close,
She's
so close.
so close.
She left me a document, and it got either misplaced or stolen, but I think it's still here. I wanted to know, I used to have the gift of I could find anything. That was my gift. If somebody lost something, they would call me, where is it? My mom too, where is it? And so I wanted to ask her, is it still here?
Yeah, it is there.
Used to be in
And
the haystack.
you forgive yourself first, whatever you are holding against yourself with regard to your mom. You forgive yourself because she doesn't hold it against you. And when you forgive yourself, it will stop being a block between you and your gift. You still can find things. She's saying you still have, it's not that you used to have the gift, you still have the gift. Until till you don't feel comfortable or confident about it, you can always ask the saints. So you can ask the angels to say, hey, Saint Anthony or Archangel Samuel, can you please find this for me? And then let it go. The other way is to imagine it exactly in some place. Just imagine it was there and you went there and you found it. And then let it go and you will find it right there. It will happen. She says you have that gift. It's there.
And who's here?
There seems to be a very tall masculine energy over there. Do you know who it is? There is someone tall, and it's a masculine energy, very strong masculine energy. Seems to be a very strong guardian energy of yours. That's who you are feeling.
He just passed a couple months ago.
He's your love. He's the one you were talking about. Yeah, he's a very very strong, very protective,
Yes.
and yeah, that's the one. I can almost, like, when you're feeling, when you put your hand there, I can almost feel the touch. I can feel the touch myself through you because it's a very strong touch.
Me. He's able to touch.
Yes. Yeah, he can. They both can. Your mom can touch you, and so can he. They both can. Both can connect with you. Sorry, they both can connect with you very easily through touch because you are very clairsentient, and your feeling sense is very strong. You're very psychic, by the way. You're extremely psychic in every way. So you give yourself that credit, and you will easily see them and hear them too. And your feeling sense is very strong. That's why they easily touch you. Your mom says that she sometimes you feel her fingers. Her fingers, do you feel it through your hair? Yeah, she does that to your hair. She does this to your hair.
Yeah.
She does this. Not to miss a beat, he is saying that he does the same to you too. So, all right, they both love your hair. Does that help you? Do you or do you have any other question, or you're done?
I don't know if I should ask, but I thank you so much. I just
You're welcome.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, that was great. Thanks, Swati. See, Maria, would you like to go next?
Yes, I am being pulled to talk to Kelly Johnson.
Hi. Wonderful.
Yeah. So do you have a question for me?
I do, and I'm going to talk to my grandpa or anybody else because I'm not sure who wants to talk to me today.
What is your grandpa's name?
Donald Reed.
You say that, and that's just I just got this feeling. I'm trying to figure out what it is. It's different. It's different. He's definitely here.
But there's someone else.
Was he like a little nervous about talking in front of people, maybe?
Very.
Okay, then yeah, that's him. Because I just got like this performance anxiety. I was like, what's going on
No
here?
performance. No performance here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's were you close to him? Because he seems
I
to
felt
say,
like he came into my life. No, I just feel, I guess that's him.
yeah.
I feel like he came into my life when I was having a very hard time with some open visions and was there for me during that time as a guardian, especially.
Mhm. Yeah,
Managing
I was about to
forces.
say he feels like he's a protector. Yeah, I see him. It's almost like he stands in front of you and he goes like, he opens his arms out wide and he says, nobody can touch her. I got her. I got her. So he's not about to let anyone hurt you. Well, I wouldn't say not hurt you. It's kind of hard for that. But as far as he's concerned, no harm will come to you. He will be doing whatever he is able to keep any harm from.
No, I appreciate that. I know I have a number of very valiant people guarding me.
Yeah.
For
And
various purposes. Yeah.
He's saying that it's more on it, he's going to keep you safe from not just emotional things, but physical things too. So
Thank you.
he seems to be a healer where he is now. He's pretty able to keep you healthy.
Oh, thank you. Because I feel there's definitely somebody helping me on that side of things. So thank you. That's good to know. I haven't been able to talk to him much. I felt like he doesn't feel confident in that area. At the same time, I want to talk to him and say, number one, thank you publicly. And then secondarily, how are things going? And what can I do to help things on this side? Because I know there's a plan. I just need to know what I've been doing is the right thing and how's it received? And then what can I do to help things move forward?
Okay, so he's saying that I guess he feels like this barrier has been broken between the two of you right now. And he says he is going to be able to talk to you. Okay.
Great.
uh, he's throwing the word hijack in my mind, and I guess what he's trying to remind me is there have been a couple of times when I have meditated, and suddenly I feel like I've been hijacked by in my experience, it was with either Alan or Archangel Michael. They seem to fight over to see who gets to hijack me first. And
Oh,
I feel
gosh.
this, yeah, I feel this immense urge that I have to like write something down. And so I start writing and writing and writing and writing. So I would say sit in the corner and just set that intention.
I will do that. I will
To
do
talk
that.
to him, and it's
Okay.
going to feel like he's hijacking you. That's basically that's the best way I can describe it. Is it's going to be just
So, well, that's okay, because I've been feeling this hijacking energy for some time and I just don't understand that. So I'll write to him about it. Maybe he can explain it a bit. Okay.
But that, yes, that's just the big word that I got was hijacking. And he said he is going to be talking to you, telling you how you can help, but you already are, and I think you know that.
Okay. Okay.
It's
It's really hard to know, because I know I'm severely protected to the point where I can't feel much. And I know there's reasons for that. It's just that I need to find a way to establish my own mediumship, I guess. So
yeah.
this
So
is good. This is a good start.
What he's showing me is that it's like you walk around with rose petals in your hand and you sprinkle them everywhere you go.
Yep.
So it's like you're just sprinkling all of this help and feeling and love, and so you're already doing that.
Okay.
So it's more of on an unconscious level, although you're becoming aware of it. So just keep up with it. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Is there
Okay.
anything
Thank
else?
you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. All right. Thank you for helping establish that. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you're welcome.
Okay.
All right, thanks. That was great. Thanks, Maria, and thanks, Kelly. See where we're at now. So Shaun sent me a message, and I don't know. We'll see if he wants to jump in here with a reading at any time. But since we're not going to sit here and wait, I'm going to get forward and take.
I will jump in when I know that it's appropriate.
Okay, you can do that. So I'm gonna take somebody else that is in the chat who wants the reading, and Alan's he's directing me to Lena for sure. Oh gosh, she's probably pushing me. So Lena, can you raise your hand so that Shaun can find you in our gallery so we can
Find her amongst the sea of hands that are raised.
Well,
there we go. I found her.
Okay.
Yeah, that was smart. She put a thumbs up.
Oh, all right. Smart.
Emojis. Hi.
I know, and I know you asked questions already, but they were good questions. So do you have more to ask about what we already covered? I know you're already making contact, right? So where are you at with that right now? And right now, as I'm saying, Alan is kind of, who is your loved one on the other side? Like, what's their name?
Jim.
Jim?
Jim.
Jim, because yeah, he's talking to him. So Alan's telling me Jim's going to come through stronger. It's just a question of giving him more time to do that. But I feel that you've been seeing some progress with that. But I can understand your position, because I would feel the same way that you go, well, how about more? like kind of more. We're always like, want more. But Alan's saying that he is doing it incrementally with you. Okay. So is you I know you asked questions, like I said already, but is there something else you want more to understand more about it, what we already said?
You guys explained it really good today, which I really appreciate. I get the messages coming in like how you
Yeah.
guys describe, or how Swanee describes with the goosebumps, and
Yes.
like it's undeniable that I get them coming in. But then when I want to talk back to him, just want him to really know that some of the things that I didn't say on earth that I wish I would have said, I want to tell him now, and I want him to really hear them, or to know that I'm feeling them. Like I just want him to, I want it to go.
So is there a reason?
Communication to go him.
I understand. Is there a reason you don't believe that he is hearing? Because he does hear you. Is there a reason why you don't believe he hears you?
Because he doesn't acknowledge it.
Okay, well, I can answer that, because Alan doesn't always acknowledge me what I say to him either. and so what I found is to just, to just accept with whatever I am getting, and know that he hears everything I say. But he's told me, he says, I can't always, give you what you ask for. There are reasons, like it could take time, or it's just not ready. He says, you just have to trust me. Okay, it's not like, but he always hears everything that I say or think. Even I don't have to say it out loud. I just have to think it. Okay, and he's actually shown me that, how did he put it to me? He says that we don't understand. You and I in the Bible don't understand how challenging it is for them, because they have agreed to be with us all the time, right? So that means they are here all the time. So that means they see everything we go through, and our suffering, our sadness, grief, what have you. But they know they can't do anything about it. Like they can't come in there and take it away, or they can't, help us physically, right? And he says that is so hard that we don't understand how hard that is for him. So suggested to me to just put myself in his position. Like if I was in his position, I could see everything. I would, in my view, it'd be like, "But you can see me. I can't see you, but you can see me." And he goes, "Yeah, but there are times I wish I couldn't, because it's hard to see you suffer, hard to see you cry, or hard to see what you're going through, hard to feel what you're going through, and know that I can't fix it. Because they love us, they'd like to fix it." So I think it's important that we just accept what we have, and be grateful for that, and know that that's going to increase in time as it's appropriate for both of us. Now I'm saying both of us, appropriate for both of us, and know that they can't just like give us boom, 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 like everything. Some souls might be able to do that, Alan's saying, because they're all different, but they're at whatever level they're at, and we just have to accept that and just keep going, because it can become more and more and more and more, but it does take time. Okay,
Yeah.
so what I'm hearing you say is that you're expressing something that in your view, because I've been there too, where you feel like, well, this is really important. Like, I want you to know this, and I want some confirmation that you understand that, or some response from you, and then you don't get it, right? You go, "Hey, I just made this big revelation." He says they can't always do that right then, but will in time, or maybe in some other way.
We can work on it, or I still keep doing what I do, and maybe more will
Mhm.
come.
Mm-hmm. Like, okay, what he's showing me is, if we can be grateful for what we already have, like what is already happening, and then you build on that instead of saying, "Okay, well, you did this and this and this, but what about these other things?" And you're focusing on the other things you didn't do. We're just emphasizing the lack, right? Instead of saying, "I'm so grateful for this, I'm so grateful for that, I'm so appreciative of this." There's something to build on when we focus on what is going right, what we already received, and they can work with that. He's showing me, it's like an energy that they can work with, that they can build with. Instead, if we're going, "Yeah, that was nice, but I want this and this, and I want my laundry list of other things that I want." He says, there's no positive energy to build on. You got to give me something here. You got to give me a little bit of something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think you guys are saying is grateful and trust in the process.
Yeah, because why would we even need to learn trust if it was all handed to us. Like, we don't have to, if proof was given, it was all right there. We didn't have to learn to trust. We just said, hey, it's all here. Well, we never learned how to trust, would we? We wouldn't have to. The whole definition of that is to trust, or in spite of the lack of evidence that we should believe. We're just trusting. We have to develop that muscle. But he's more saying to me, Alan's more saying to me, showing to me that we have to build on the positive experiences, like build on that energy and grow it and grow it. And so that more of those will come, instead of taking what they've given us and talking about what they still haven't given us. Because you're putting more attention on the lack instead of what we have. Because Alan's saying, don't worry. He does know what you need or want. Working on it might take time. Alan says there are things that I want that I've told him. He's still working on it. And I've said, okay, I'm not gonna hound you about it. I'm not gonna, question about it. I'm just gonna let it go and enjoy the journey. And know that have however much time, and not say, but when is it gonna happen? Like, I want it next month, or I want it in 2 weeks, right? Just to be okay with the experience, because really we have eternity with them.
Wow.
Okay. And we're so focused on, because they understand we're in the 3D world. So we're like, yeah, but I'm right here right now. And I would like this as soon as possible. So we understand that. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. And I am like that. I want more. I want it now.
Yeah, I know. So that's why you're more, I'm saying you're more beating that drum of, I want it more. I don't, what I don't have. Not talking about what I do have, what I'm appreciative for, what I'm grateful for. We're talking about what's still on the list that you haven't fulfilled. And they're not, Alan's just teasing, but he goes, we're not circus animals. We're not.
He's funny. I think he's talking to Jim, because that was one of his things. Not my circus, not my monkeys.
Oh no, there you go.
And I'm a drummer.
He's showing me
and I'm a drummer.
Okay, that's what it is. Because Alan said we're not circus animals.
I think they're giggling together.
They are. I think Alan's saying, don't worry. He's working with Jim. He's gonna fill your whole list. Okay? But just put the list away and don't set a timetable, and just love him now. Can you do that? Just be happy with him now and experience now, because then it's kind of tricky here, because I don't want you to do that, to be here now, focus on now, thinking like, okay, if I do this, then I'm going to get what I want. Because it can't be that you do it that way. You have to be here now, because this is what feels good and makes you happy. What will happen though is the list will get filled, but you have to forget about the freaking list. That's what I'm saying. And just get happy with what you have now, and don't have the timetable. I know why Alan had me pick you, because he wanted me to listen to what he was telling you. It's for me too.
Yeah. Some of the things you say, I'm like, gosh, that's for me too. So
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. There you go. That's why I said, Lena, I want this is for you.
Yeah, it leaves me kind of speechless, because it is so accurate. Thank you.
Both of us.
Yeah.
And so that so often happens in readings, at least in my experience, that the readings I give for people, they're usually for me too. That's why the person came to me, or that's why, in this environment, I chose that person, because I needed to hear that too, because we're all connected. So, okay. So so I hope that helped. It helped me. I don't know about you. I feel better.
Yeah. The thumbs up is staying.
Thumbs up. And while we're talking, Swati, did you want to add to that? Because I saw you nodding your head.
I'm going to just chime in real quick, since it's we're at 2 hours and 45 minutes. And you've got 8 people with their hand raised. That if somebody who has their hand raised who needs to go to the bathroom, it's okay. People are going to start dropping. There's just so many people. So I just wanted to give
about
everybody permission.
Don't worry about it.
You can go to the bathroom.
And
if
I
you
can
need.
stay on longer. I don't know about Swati or Maria. I know Shaun can probably, but Shaun will go for the rest of the night. But he and I can hang out for a while.
I can stay. I
Okay.
always enjoy this. The reason I was nodding was because of many things. One was, the latest one was that, you know how we often get those people to read where we share a similar message, where we have a similar issue and we need to face that. And so yeah, that's why I was laughing. And the things that you were telling, Lena, there were many times I was sitting and laughing also, because I could hear Alan saying, yeah, I've been saying the same thing to her, kind of a thing. So Lena, the other thing I just got something for you was that, are you also, you kind of, do you do things like me, like wanting the proof, not, trying to, if you get something, you either don't look at it or you explain it away? Because I feel what he's saying is that he's been acknowledging your messages. He has been, but you explain it away. He has been, and especially when you said that he doesn't acknowledge, and he was like, no, I acknowledge. She explains it. So yeah, I'm guilty too. I explain it. I can explain anything away. You can do whatever. I can explain it away. I can do it.
Yeah, you can always explain it away. Just stop it already.
So Lena, here's, please look at it. Like, I liked what Pam said in the beginning. She said, you know what, even when you feel like explaining it away, even when it looks untrue or whatever, you have every reason to say, no, this could have happened because this, acknowledge it also at the same time. So that's what I did. Like when Michael told me to dare to be wrong, so I started daring to be wrong. Like, okay, so even if it could have happened this way, but it could also be this.
Yeah.
And then things started flowing in. So do that. Even if you can explain it away, say, hey, it happened. That was a very good suggestion from Pam right in the beginning to everyone, all of us. Even when you explain it away, at the same time acknowledge. So he is acknowledging you, Lena. He's acknowledging you left, right, and center. Please don't say he's not acknowledging you.
There you go. That I knew there was something you needed to say to Lena and to me about that. But yeah, to just say for all of us, really.
Yes.
Like you can say, I don't know what just happened, but I know something happened. And I know it was, and don't just say, oh, explain it away logically, right? Just say, I can't prove it, but I believe this. You can never really prove that. We can't prove, they're not in the body.
Yeah, there is no way.
We gotta let it go. So just say, who cares? Like, I know what I felt and I know something happened.
Exactly. And Lena, you'll feel it through emotions. You'll feel it in your emotions. I can see that your emotions are so, despite you logically explaining things away, you can feel your clairsentient, Lena. So you will feel the emotions. And that's how you will know that you cannot explain it away. Look at it. When you see the acknowledgement, look at it and try to feel into it. You will feel the tears, or you'll feel something. When you feel the something, you will know. You will know what it is. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Hope that made sense.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Swati. Well,
Carla, can I speak to Carla, please? Can you unmute yourself, Carla? Shaun?
I'm looking for her.
Help! She's waving.
I know, I'm not the best multitasker sometimes. What's her name, Carla?
Carla, C-A-R-L-A.
Carla, where are you?
There you
Maybe
go.
you can also.
There she is. There you are. Oops, unmute.
You got muted again.
I pressed unmute just as she.
There we go.
Okay, there you go. Hi, Carla.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well. Happy to be here. Thank you for calling me.
I have absolutely no idea why I was asked to call you, but you let me know why there is someone behind you again, but I don't know who it is, if it's somebody you want to talk to you or whether it's your guardian angel, but there is this feminine energy behind you who's wearing a dress, a beautiful dress, long hair. I don't know who she is, but there's somebody there already. Anyway, you let me know why you asked.
I'm just curious if there are any messages from my mother or my father.
For your mother and father. Does this person, the lady who I just saw, does she match up with your mom? Did she
I mean,
wearing
is the
beautiful
hair
dresses?
about this length? Then that would be my mom.
Yes.
Yeah, then that's
Long,
mommy.
so, and did she like wearing beautiful dresses, or is this something she has gone? So that dress thing was important because she kept showing me the dress.
Mhm.
They show these things so that the person I'm talking to will know how to acknowledge and know. For some reason, the dress was important, so I had to dress, and the hair was important, so I let you know that. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
she's already here, and she has a very angelic spirit, because I was wondering when I was looking at her, is this a DLO or is this an angel? I can't figure out because she looks just about the same.
Yeah.
So yeah,
she was very gentle and
very gentle.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a very, very angelic spirit. She was probably an incarnate angel. The angels do incarnate, and probably most likely she is, and I think I will get to know. Yes, she nods. She was an incarnate angel. So do you have a question for? She steps forward now that we both have acknowledged her. She steps forward. Usually when I talk to people and talk with their DLOs, they do this. They come and make their presence felt by touching them. So she's here, and she's on your right again, on the that somehow all the people today I've read, the people have been on their right. So behind your right shoulder, and she places her hand on your right shoulder to speak, and she bends over and she kisses you on your right cheek. That was my running commentary going on. Okay. Now, did you feel it? If you didn't, then just close your eyes and she will do it again. Take a deep breath and relax your body. And do you feel some kind of a vibration on your cheek and on your shoulder? So that's her. That's her kissing you and touching you. And she grins big. She's very happy. She's very happy to have made the contact with you.
That's beautiful. When Pam did the Zoom the other week, maybe it was just last week, I felt my mom hold my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what kind of got me to come here today, was the hope to connect again.
So she did. She showed up again, and she made you feel her presence again physically, because they can do that. Their energy, and we have energy body, and they can touch us and make us feel the energy even before we can hear them. So she's here. She's very happy. She has a big grin. She is smiling a lot. She smiles very readily. She's like smiling. Yeah. So do you have something that you would like to ask her?
It's since she and dad are both gone, I feel like me and my siblings, like they were the glue with my siblings, and so without them, we're just not really all that connected, or at least I don't feel very connected with my sisters and brothers since my parents have left. And so I'm just curious if that's just ever going to get easier.
So what she's saying is, as you were saying that they were the glue, she started pointing to you and saying she has to be the glue. So often what happens is, and I really hate it when they put it on us like this, when there's something that we need to learn here, or learn to let go of, that responsibility falls on us. So she was saying that you have to be the glue, and then you said that you especially don't feel so connected to your siblings, and I guess that's why she's saying that you've got to be the glue, and she said that you will do it very, very effectively. You just have to let go of whatever is coming in your way of connecting with your siblings, and she said that when you do that, you will realize that you are the glue now. You are the glue that's keeping the family together. And she says you can do it very well. To trust your beautiful heart, once you let your self-love without blocks, without any unforgiveness, you are going to be the glue.
Wow.
And she said that you actually are the one. She's saying that it's not just because you've got to learn how to do this. She said that naturally too, you are the one who has the highest potential of being that glue. Does that make sense? That
Yeah.
she says that you have the highest potential of being the glue amongst your siblings. More than they can do it, you can do it. You are the one who can do it. And is your dad more quiet compared to your mom?
No, I mean,
Because
not
he's,
when he was embodied.
No, but so I don't know, maybe that's not your dad then. There is a gentleman behind you on the left side, but he's tall and slender, and he's keeping quiet. Sometimes they keep quiet because they're letting the other one speak, or it could be your spirit guide or angel, but they are staying back. He's staying back. So your mom is the one who's taking the center stage right now.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I really appreciate connecting with her again. That just means the world to me.
You can connect with her again and again because she seems adept at making you feel her presence physically. She's very, very, it's very easy for her to do it. Look like it's like nothing. Nope. And I guess it's easy also for her because being an angelic spirit, she was an incarnate angel. So for her, that learning curve did not come. She easily gets into that mode and she can connect with you. So you can, anytime you want to touch her, hold her, and just hold your hand up, close your eyes, relax your body, hold your hand up and ask her to hold, and you will feel. Talk to her. She says you're clairaudient too. You can talk to her. You can hear her. So please talk to her. Write down, right? If you don't feel very comfortable right now with your clairaudience, she says you're very clairaudient, is automatic writing. And the more you do that, after that, you'll stop and you will realize that you can hear her very clear, absolutely clear. No doubt at all.
Yeah. I heard her the day that she
You
passed.
heard her.
Yeah.
You heard her. Yes, that's
Yeah.
what she said. You're very clairaudient. It's easy for you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're
Good.
welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Swati.
You're
Maria?
welcome.
I'm between two people. It's like I keep on drawn between two people right now. But I think I'm going with Sherry Sachs. So do you have a question for me?
I just want to know who's visiting me. I have, I think, a few people coming into my life and I'm having trouble telling them apart.
Okay.
Or anything they want to tell me, any reason that they are coming.
It's funny because you say that and I feel a bunch of people around you. A lot of male presence around you. Do you have a lot of like father, uncle that have crossed over?
Yeah, my father crossed over a few years ago and my husband just crossed over 6 months ago.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely, I feel more than two, because like the image I got was like you were surrounded by a bunch of male energy, like almost like I see it's a semicircle around you, behind you, and right up to your sides is what I'm getting. So I'm gonna say maybe 4 or 5. Do you have any other?
I never met my grandparents or my grandfathers. They died before I was born, so maybe them. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be, but it's definitely it's family energy, because I do feel them very, very protective of you. So yeah, they're definitely with you. They're taking care of you.
That's good to know. I need some love right now, so that's good to know.
They're taking care of you. They definitely they're telling you, you know, since feel into their love, close your eyes and just I usually say marinate in it but that is exactly how I feel. I mean, and they threw that word at me. Just marinate in their love. Just don't worry so much about making contact and listening to them, because that seems to me like it'll be a natural step for you. But just let them fill you up with that love. They're telling me that you might feel things like you'll feel light, not lightheaded, but like a lightness of being. If you cry, that's okay. That's perfectly okay. They're not saying a lot of words. They're throwing a whole bunch of images in my head, and I'm trying to unravel them. So.
Welcome to my life. I don't know half of what's going on these days.
But it's like every time I unravel something, I get the thumbs up. So I'm like, okay, I got it. Do you smell flowers around you?
Not usually. I smell cigarette smoke sometimes, and I smell other types of smoke or fragrances, sometimes cooking odors.
Yeah. Well, then that's them, letting them know they're around you. But I feel like then maybe if you're not smelling flowers, they're bringing you flowers, like, giving you, just, I guess, showing you their love to you. I just have to go with the things
that makes sense to me.
Yeah. But yeah, your name appearing and disappearing from the chat. I noticed that too, because at one point, just before I called you, you were the only person who showed up for me with their hand up.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm hearing that's your husband that was doing that. So.
Yeah, that does not surprise me. And it was surprising. He said, thank you for confirming. It's not my technical ability.
Yeah, I saw what you wrote, but it's like when I looked up at the chat right before it was my turn to talk again, you were the only person with a hand up. I don't know what else would have their hand up for me. So I guess they really wanted to let you know, they're there with you. So
thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else you want?
No, I just wanted to say hi to them and make sure that they were saying hi back.
They are. They're with you all the time. So, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks, Maria. So we're going to take over here now. Alan wants to talk to Ann Walter. Hi, Ann. So I see you want a deeper connection with your mom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
What's your mom's? Hi. I know. Ann.
I totally didn't expect this, so I'm off guard.
I know. Alan goes, Ann. I go, oh, okay. It's like, he just went right through it. What's your mom's name, her full name?
Maria. She went by Mary, but Maria.
What's her last name?
Oh, Kettler. Or Katler.
Okay,
Two
so
different ways to pronounce.
Okay. He's saying she's been making contact with you. You're not always listening.
Yeah, and I'm trying. I know that she is.
Like he's showing me like knocking on the door, going like, how come she's not answering the door? Like,
like you say that
doorbell, knocking on the.
Well, that's interesting because just a couple of days ago, the doorbell rang and both Ron and I.
Yeah, she's ringing. She's literally ringing your doorbell.
Okay, well, I told my husband.
She showed me knocking and then ringing. Like,
interesting, because I told my husband that's got to be Mom, because there was nobody there.
She's kind of going to me. She's kind of going like, "Hey, like, what are you doing? I'm actually ringing the door." Or she goes, "Ringing the doorbell."
I acknowledged her.
Ringing the doorbell is easier than knocking because it's electrical, I guess. But it says, okay, she's making contact. She's saying Alan is helping her. Okay, he's going to help her get stronger. Yeah. So he's saying now your job is to, when things like that happen, go, oh yeah, that's Mom. Like he says, whatever happens, just say, okay, that's Mom. Like he literally, he's saying whatever. He's showing me the word whatever in capital letters. Whatever happens, even if there's just a tiny chance that could be her, say, just assign it to her, like that's mom.
Okay.
Because if you're going to keep leaning into it that way, okay, because she's getting stronger. She's already making contact.
Yes, she used to, for the longest time, for probably a couple of years, my husband and I would hear a thump on the front door in the evening when we were sitting just watching.
See, so she was knocking on the door.
Yes, she was. And after a while, I figured out, I told Ron, I said, that's got to be mom. It's got to be mom. And then as soon as I told him that and I acknowledged that it was her, it completely stopped. And I got kind of upset with her for stopping and not continuing.
She says she's just trying out different things. Okay, she's just practicing different things. But she's saying, yeah, you know how much it took to get that done, just to get that. It sounds like a small thing. Well, really, it isn't, right? But it may seem like a small thing. But to gather the energy to do that. So she said, okay, I did that, and now she's showing me kind of like she has a checklist. Okay, I could do that. I could do that. I'm gonna try this. She's tried other things, but you wouldn't have experienced it because she didn't get it done yet, right? Like, because when you try something, it either works and you would experience, or I would experience it, or it wouldn't. So how would we know, right? They tried it, but then it didn't work. So we're only going to see what does work, but doesn't mean she's not trying other things. So just give that time. And now she's saying, hold on a minute. She's saying, I'm proud of you for everything that you're doing now, like everything that you're achieving now. And you need to give yourself credit for things. She says, because you don't do that. You just kind of think like, oh yeah, me, like, you know what I'm talking about? You kind of put yourself not really down, but you don't own what you can do. You know, go, oh yeah, I can do that, and be confident. And she says she was kind of like that too.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows why you take after her that way. So she says, just own it. Yeah. So she knows you're like that. She says, so stop it. Just whatever you do, and especially when somebody gives you a compliment, says, oh, that was so great, or you're good at that, or whatever they say that's positive, just own it. Thank you, and own that. Say, yeah, I'm good at that. Okay, it's almost like you're too humble, and there's nothing wrong with being humble, but then you don't step into your confidence, right? Because you have to be both humble and yet confident. I know it sounds like it's contradictory, but it really isn't. That you know who you are, you know what you can do, brag, but you own it and you go, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm good at that. I love doing that, and I'm good at that. Because she's saying you're good at so many things, Anne. So many things, and you don't give yourself credit. You kind of still like, oh, me, yeah, that's like, no, nothing, you know what I mean? And it's better than somebody who gets all full of themselves, right? Says, yeah, I'm the world's greatest, and gets all cocky. He says, don't worry, you're never going to get cocky. It's just not in your DNA. But you do need to embrace your gifts and say, I feel good about this, what I can do. And don't think that you're making yourself feel better than somebody else, because you're not like that. You've never been like that. Yeah, she's saying this is your year to shine in your life, and she wants to help you, because she wasn't like that herself. She wasn't letting herself shine. She wasn't acknowledging herself. So in that way, she's kind of living through you, like our loved ones do. Does that make sense? Does that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think she's gonna get louder and stronger. So I don't know. Don't blame me if she knocks on your door at all hours of the night or something.
Well, I heard something last night, and I thought, what is going on outside? Because we sleep with our window open, and there was some kind of racket outside our window, and I thought, geez, it sounds like somebody's right outside our window, and I don't know what was going on, but I just kind of ignored it and tried to go to sleep.
Well, I don't know if that was her.
I don't know if it was either.
She's kind of going, no.
It wasn't her. It might have been the wind.
She says, I'm saving my energy for other things. But okay, but she's saying you are hearing other things, like almost like hearing other dimensions. So I think you're hearing psychically. So it could be you heard something that's not here in this world. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's just not here in this world. And Alan and your mom are saying, and you are going to hear more psychically, clairaudiently.
Well, I kind of feel like this is the year for me. I don't know. I have expectations.
So I see your mom going, slapping her knee kind of and going, yeah, it's about time. Like, it's about time. Yes, this is her year. It's about time. So yeah.
It is about time.
So go for that. And now she's showing me to tell you, like, take your bow. Like, thank you very much. And take your bow and acknowledge what you achieved and thank the people who were acknowledging you and all that, right? And instead of going, oh, no, that's okay. Like, I'm really, it's really nothing. Like, don't do that.
I'm getting better at that, though.
Don't do that.
Does she see me getting better at acknowledging?
Yeah, you're getting better. You're getting better. Plus, she's kind of there, kind of nudging you a little bit, just or almost putting that thought in your head, like acknowledge it. It's okay, like, or giving you that feeling, like I should just accept that, because through you, she's helping herself really, because you're so alike in that way, and she has a lot of love for you, and that's coming through stronger this year too, because she wants to really. Okay, Alan's saying, because she heard what I said about Alan really focusing on really projecting his love. Not that she wasn't giving you her love, but she wants to give you more of that, like more, like really transmit that love to you.
Thank you. And I'm trying to exercise that toward her as well.
Good. Yeah, it's a two-way thing. She's saying, okay, just tell her I love her. Tell her that I'm going to be around, and don't complain if I become a pest.
I would not. Because
she wants to kind of try all these different things she's learning that she could do. Yay. And she just wants to see she's having fun with it. So I don't know if she's already moved things around the house and things like that yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if she starts doing things like that, where she moves things. You go, where was that? Where was that? I don't know, that. Oh, now she's showing me a dish or something. I don't know what that has to do with it. Like, where was that dish? I thought I put it right here. Where'd it go? And you find it in some weird place, like what Maria talked about, like her comb being under the rock, some crazy place. And you go, I wouldn't put that there. So now Al, all right. Al is showing me what he did for me once, where I shared it in our group, where he took the battery pack for my cordless vacuum cleaner and moved it from where I put it, which was right in front of my microwave. And I knew exactly where I put it because I made a mental note. Okay, I'm leaving it here because I got to go recharge it in the morning. Came back in the kitchen, it wasn't there. It was on the opposite side of the kitchen, by a place that didn't make any sense, in the kitchen by my water filter system. And under that. And I knew it was him. And I said, why did you do that? He goes, I was just trying. See if I could do that. And by the way, I charged the battery. I said, no way. He goes, I did. I charged the battery. So I put it back in the vacuum, turned it on, and it was fully charged. It had been dead the next day, right? The day before. And he goes, then he says to me, but don't get used to that, because I'm not going to charge all of your batteries. Okay, I'm just doing it that one time.
Because I was just going to ask
to see if I could do it. I'm not going to do it again. And he hasn't done that again. Something like that. She's going to just start playing with different things. She's saying, like, they're both saying it's kind of like a workout, like a psychic workout. Like, let's see how we can use our energy to manipulate our energy to do things in the physical world, just to build their strength.
That's good.
Okay, but okay, before I leave you here, I got also earlier to write her messages to you. Have you ever done that? She wants to talk
I have, and I've been thinking that I need to do that.
Okay,
Start to
get back to
something.
that. If you did it before, to say, showing me that, like writing to her.
Great. Yeah.
To bring her more into this world.
Right.
Okay. Oh, great. I love that. Thanks,
Thank you so
Anne.
much. Thank you.
Okay, I want to see you taking your bow this year. Taking your bow and saying, thank you very much, my public.
Yeah.
Like I see you on a stage with your roses taking a bow, you know?
Oh my
Like,
God, I have
what's
such
wrong with
stage
that?
fright.
So,
Thank Pam and Alan and Mom.
sure.
Thank
So we're going to, let me see. We don't want to go till 4. I know Shaun doesn't want to go till 4. So I don't know. Let's end with Swati. Are you up for that, Swati? We'll end with Swati and
I am unmuted, and I was talking to you without unmuting myself.
well, I didn't hear you.
I am blaming your husband for it because I sent you a direct message to her, and I was telling Maria too. So while Maria was giving a reading just before you, Alan decided that he wants to make my Google Home talk. So he was making my Google Home, that Alexa thing, not Alexa is different, but the Google Home equivalent of Alexa.
Yeah.
So it was just talking all kinds of things, saying all kinds of things. And at first I was looking like, what? Who's talking? What's happening here? And then I knew what it was.
Yeah, he's been practicing more things.
Yes.
Like he's been practicing, like I'm listening to music, all of a sudden it goes off. What are you doing? He goes, I'm just practicing. You told me to practice.
Yeah. So I was going crazy laughing about that, the kind of stuff Google Home has been saying. Oh my God, I'll have to tell you after this whole reading.
Yes, I need to hear that.
Yes. Okay, so who else is left? I see Judy, but Judy, you're already sick of hearing from me. You hear enough from me that I think Judy wouldn't want to hear from me. Then Sandy, where are you? Sandy, there. Sandy, Stagnito, how do I? Can you unmute yourself, or Shaun will have to unmute?
Hello.
There you are.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you? As you could hear, I was
Good,
having a
thank
very good
you.
time. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you.
All right. So is there somebody you wanted to connect with, or a question you had that you want your guides, angels, loved ones to answer?
Yeah, I was hoping I could talk to either one of my grandmothers. My father's having a hard time, so I was kind of hoping maybe his mother would come through or give me some insight on him.
I see someone here, and I don't know if that's your grandmother. That I do see. I see a group of people with you.
Okay.
I see a lady who is there's a short lady with you.
A short lady?
Yeah.
That could be my grandmother. She was like 4'10".
Okay, so that proves it.
Yeah.
So that's what they first give something about themselves, which will be their describing characteristics. So she comes up with short, and they come up with I see a really short person with you, and I'm wondering, okay, is that really? Well, can't be, because usually I find everyone very tall because I'm just 5. So relative to me, I find even people who are 5'3" will be so tall for me. But here, this is the first time I'm coming across someone who looks shorter. So okay, so that's your grandmother.
Yeah.
And, she's here with you. And does she have did she I see gray hair, so meaning that she did, I mean, of course that would go over with anyone who's a grandmother, but I think the reason she's showing the gray hair is either she did not like dyeing her hair, or she didn't dye it in the end, or something to do with gray hair. Does that make sense?
She had Alzheimer's in the end, so she.
Okay. So yeah, so she shows gray hair. Well, she doesn't have that anymore, so because she looks pretty happy. Thank God. I think that, okay, thank God was her saying that. That was Alan and her putting that together. They're trying to tell me why, even though I always say that I'm going to fight till the very end, you're not going to let you guys die. But they're trying to show me why it is nice. It's good for them. They are happy to cross over. So she's saying, thank God that she crossed over. She doesn't have all that, none of those problems. She's very happy.
That's
She's
good.
very, very happy. She's like,
She had a lot of health issues.
She has none of that. She's like, she's kind of doing this, showing her hands here and moving it around like this. And she's doing it to show how easily she moves, how happy she feels, how free she feels. Yeah. So she's very happy. Is there a question that you had specifically for her? Because she's not saying anything else on her own, except that she wants you to know how happy and healthy she is.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. I'm just wanted to know if she saw my dad, which is her son, going to be okay. He needs to have some. He had a stroke last week, and also he's very like his father, when he was a baby, he left them, and he still has so much hurt over that, even when they got divorced, and he never really came back, and he's like tormented over that now. I was trying to give him some kind of peace. He passes, you know.
So he lost touch with her, is what you're saying?
With his natural father, her husband.
Okay.
My dad's husband, and then when he was a baby, he left them and didn't really show up for like 15 years. And my dad's still, even though he's in his 70s, is just like still tormented with that.
So that's what your grandmother is talking about before, when the moment you said that is he going to get well or not, and he got a stroke. And so she's saying he needs to let go of the unforgiveness. Is he mad at his dad, or?
Very.
Yeah, very. Okay. So he needs to let go of the unforgiveness. She's saying that what happened out of design. It was most of the things that we experience in life is our free will, what we have decided to experience and through our choices. But there are some things that happen out of design. A few things will be placed so that we can go according to whatever we want to experience. And this was part of the plan. I'm doing this because she's making me do it. She's there. This is her request to her son to please let it go, because this was part of the design. He had to leave them and go. And she's asking him to forgive and let go. Otherwise, yeah, she's saying he is going to get well. But if he keeps on holding on to this resentment and anger, he is going to keep feeling the ill effects of some health issue or the other will keep coming in. And this is one of the things that he was also designed to let go of in this life. And that is part of the reason why he left and went away, because it's been in I don't know how he has been otherwise, but she says that even in other lives, he has had a hard time in letting go of unforgiveness, of anger. He can hold on to things and just hold on and nurse the grudge inside. Even if he won't lash out, he will hold it inside him, and it will really gnaw it inside and really make him feel miserable, miserable with it.
And I think because they had moved like a year before COVID, so he's really kind of isolated, now, because he didn't get to meet a lot of friends when all this happened. And so he just sits at home and he worries, and he's losing his vision. He has macular degeneration, so he can't drive anymore, and he's very depressed. And he's even like got in his head that he keeps, I think he's hoping, and it's because my grandmother was engaged to somebody, a really nice person who died in during the war. And he keeps hoping that that was really his birth father, and this other guy just married her, because I don't think he can deal with the fact that his biological dad abandoned him. So he's like obsessed, like literally had this conversation the night before he had the stroke.
Yes, yes. So Sandy, can you help him forgive his natural dad? Because this is by design. If he doesn't, he will need to experience it again and again till he learns to forgive.
Okay.
Do you think you can? Because I think you can. From what I can feel from your energy, it feels like you are someone who can let go of things, who can, yes, you feel emotions, yes, you can get angry, yes, you get hurt, but you can also let go. And can you help him forgive? Can you tell him that this is by design? It was meant to be like this. It was meant to be that way. And it doesn't mean that his dad has actually left him, because his dad, he's on the other side. He is watching and he's waiting. He's waiting with almost bated breath to see whether this time he's going to cross that and break free.
Okay.
To let go. So he's waiting.
When my dad does cross to one day, that he'll have maybe closure with his biological dad then.
He will, but he needs to do it now before he crosses over.
Right, yeah, because I think
that is important. So
affecting
I
his
think
health.
do you think he will be open to talking to his mom?
Definitely. My father's always been very intuitive and had like a psychic ability. So
yes,
I would have had him join this group, except that he's deaf in one ear from his job, and now he's losing his vision. So the computer thing is very frustrating for him. That's the only reason I didn't get him like, you know, some kind about reading, because it's hard for him. But he
Sandy, you can talk to him and teach him once again. It'll be like you said, he is psychic himself, but you'll need to guide him through it again and get him to talk to his mom. Okay. And through his mom, then open up to his dad. Okay. So that he will see from here that, oh, oops, I was supposed to do this and I'm supposed to let go of it. And the moment he does that, he's going to feel a lot better. Even the sight goes away for most of us when we don't want to see something and we want to shut our eyes to something. We hate something in life so much that we want to close our eyes. Yes. And that's when things happen. My dad also lost his eyesight because of macular degeneration. So I do understand how scary and frustrating that could be. However, I want to, can you message me later on? I want to connect you to somebody who actually did heal her macular degeneration. We worked together. We just, we were just playing around with it to see. I said, I don't know. I know that medically it's supposed to be not curable, but she had a lot of faith and we worked together and it's almost gone. I mean, her mother came through, like what Pam was saying, that people on the other side can help. So her mom came through, her mom, me, and my this person. 3 of us worked together and her macular degeneration is almost gone.
Wow, that would be amazing because he's so.
It can. He can, yeah, the down thing, but before he can do any of that, you will have to help him, hold his hand, your mom, your grandmother saying you need to hold his hand to help him cross that unforgiveness threshold. So
yeah, I will definitely do that. We don't live in the same state right now, but I will definitely
hold his hand, meaning just figuratively on phone.
To support.
Yes, guide him through it. Okay. First, make him talk to his mom, and his dad is ready to talk to him. His dad is waiting to talk to him.
So should he be just like talk out loud to them and just, he's not going to hear a response, but maybe he'll feel something? Is that what should I tell him? It.
Ask him how, when he has, like you said, he's been psychic, very psychic, but right now anger is clouding things. So ask him what was his strongest way. Was it clairaudience, clairvoyance? Actually, with his eyesight going a bit down, physical eyesight, his third eye will be getting more and more active. So he might.
He says that he's been seeing my grandmother. I don't know if it's like, and then my mom was thinking it's because of the low vision that you can have visions. But I said, I
No.
don't think so, because Daddy's always been very in tune to that kind. And so is my grandmother that passed, and so am I. So
Yes. No, he's definitely seeing. My dad was not at all psychic. He's still not, but because he's completely physically blind, his third eye is absolutely open, and he sees all kinds of people coming in, walking. He sees them very clearly as we would see each other. So he doesn't see us, but he sees the spirit world. So your dad definitely sees her, and ask him now to start talking to her and talk about why this was meant to be, why it was supposed to happen this way, and how he's supposed to forgive, and that his dad is waiting with bated breath to see whether his son is going to really conquer this and cross this threshold this time.
and forgive
He wants
him.
him to.
And
Yes,
forgive him.
totally forgive him. To cross that threshold of unforgiveness, cross the side, he's going to achieve so much healing, physical, emotional, everything, once he does this.
That would be wonderful. That's what he needs. Like, he's just hurting, you know, he's been hurting since I was a little girl. So I just,
Yes. And he really has to. He has to. And your grandmother's almost counting on you right now to make, but you, and then I think you and your grandmother together will be able to help him do this.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
How do I message you for that information about the person who helped with the
You're
message?
in Pam's group, right?
Yes.
Okay, just Pam will let you know how to, and I'm there in her group too. So we
Okay.
can connect. I just want you to connect with that other person. But first step is for him to forgive. Otherwise, the other stuff will not be done.
Right. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Swati. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Swati. Thanks so much for being here, and we're going to wind down now. But before we go, I just noticed that I didn't answer every single question that I put in the announcement. One of the ones was, is it really possible to continue a relationship with a loved one after they transition? But I think we showed that, but it is, obviously. But the last question was, what's the biggest hurdle to after death contact? And in my opinion, and if Swati has an opinion, she can share hers, or Maria does too, or Shaun, they can share theirs. But I think the biggest hurdle is just believing, just choosing to believe and trust. And I like to tell our students that trust is a decision you make, because you can't trust if you're asking for proof, because that goes against the definition of trust. So you have to choose to just trust and believe. And when you do that, then the doors open to that contact and communication. But I think that's the biggest hurdle, because we've been programmed to believe that we cannot believe or trust in what we can't see. So that's the biggest thing to me. I mean, what do you guys think? Does that fit your?
I feel what you said is true. At the same time, you know, I always ask for proof. I always do. So, but here's the thing, with me asking for proof, I'm also open to accepting that maybe this was right. And I was open enough to want to experience these things. So this can be one of the biggest hurdles in communicating with the other side, is when you're not even open to accepting that this can happen. So that can become a hurdle. After that, have at least halfway through, even when you're asking for proof and you're not believing, at least be halfway there, that yes, I'm going to ask for proof, fine, but I'm also going to be open to the idea that this can happen. At least meet them halfway through.
I understand, except I believe that too. Because some people are just so like, well, I'm not going to believe this unless they prove it to me. Like they're kind of saying they're closed, really. Saying, I'm not going to believe this. I think you have to be open, right? Just say, you're not saying you're automatically going to believe, you're just saying, I'm open to seeing. I'm not prejudging it and saying, I'm going to not believe until you prove it to me, which is a different thing than saying, I'll see what happens, right? As opposed to saying right there that you're just not going to believe, because then you're closing your energy.
Then you're closing it off completely. Yeah. So be open, just like Michael challenged me to dare to be wrong. So, okay, so what will happen? What's the worst thing that will happen is that you have imagined it all up. Okay, so how does it hurt you? But I promise you that along with your imagination, they're going to work through your imagination to come through and talk to you. So at least be open to that much. Then the other things I've seen that comes in the way when I work with people is fear. On one side, they do want to connect, but on the other hand, they're also afraid of doing it.
Yeah.
They think that, oh, what if they suddenly pop up somewhere here and there? No, that's not going to happen. It takes enormous energy on their part to really just pop up like that. So it doesn't. So there is a lot of fear I have noticed. Fear of seeing, fear from the people that I've talked to. They are afraid that, oh, are they really watching me all the time? What when I go to the bathroom? I mean, you know what? They're not really thinking about you in the bathroom. It doesn't matter to them anymore. You're going to the bathroom or anything like that. So I've had that kind of questions also come up from my clients, my friends, family. They are like, my sister-in-law is grieving so bad. She's almost let go of her life. It's been years. My brother died in 2013, but she still hasn't, she hasn't embraced life. She's very depressed. But at the same time, when I ask her, would you like to talk to him? How I'll teach you how to. She's afraid to, she won't. So she won't do that. Another friend of mine, she said she was she was uncomfortable with the fact that her dad could actually see her anytime he wanted to. So there are these things also that come in the way, our own human problems.
Self-limiting beliefs.
Yes.
Like, oh, everybody else can be a medium, but not me.
Not me.
Those right.
Yes. It happens to everyone else, but not me. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Any last words from any of you? But thank you so much, Maria and Swati and Shaun, and everybody else who showed up, who joined us. I know people have left, but just appreciate you being here.
And I put it in the chat in case anybody didn't notice that Hawaiian Islands we're having on Tuesday. We're going to have Dr. Yvonne Kaisen, who actually, she's the president of Spiritual Awakenings International, and she's experienced all these, pretty much everything. But also she's a doctor and she's written several books. So she's going to come and share her stories, plus explain the difference in a lot of this different thing, like the difference between spiritually transformative and a mystical experience. So there's an invite, and hopefully you'll all come.
Yeah, great. And if you're in our group, you'll see the little, what do you call it? Like a little announcement for it. You can click on that. You can
the event.
Yeah, the event. Those are always amazing events. So yes, please join Shaun and company and everybody. But we're gonna wind down now. I think people are leaving. So thanks for coming, and you'll hear from us for the next one because you'll be on our email list now. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Aloha.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Lots of love to all of you.